any part of that. That's nope.
Green, no one's with you, and I've already started recording, so you're making this super weird. No, stop it. Stop it. Okay. So we're playing the game.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah.
That
right.
is totally your catchphrase, boss. I love it.
Post-apocalypse.
That's amazing. Yes,
Yeah.
I know. It's my catchphrase.
It's amazing.
One day we'll have it on a T-shirt. So
We're playing Overwatch 2 and Overwatch. Anyway.
playing, but I've still not played Overwatch.
Oh,
Is it as good as everyone says it is?
it's so fun. It's so
No,
fun.
it isn't.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's like old school TF2 fun.
Yeah. It just frustrates me. Like, I get so salty playing Overwatch. It's not even
I
funny.
actually don't, but that's... I don't know. Somehow that game doesn't make me salty, which is interesting, because many other games do. But anyway, Apocalypse now. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Apocalypse World.
Apocalypse World.
Which now is
I
something
mean,
else.
it's kind of fun. Let's just play Overwatch. That's what we'll do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll play one of us is Roadhog, and
Okay, so returning characters, we've got Tim as Green, one of the original, the OGs, Farah, Boss. For the first time, we've got our new specialist Hank Johnson, our Quarantine, which should be really fun because the Quarantine's one of the weirder playbooks, you know. In fact,
Which reminds me, I have to roll before sessions start.
oh
And
yeah,
ask you a question.
you have to roll and ask me. Oh yeah, you have to ask me. You get to ask me a question about what started the apocalypse, don't you?
Yes.
Or before the apocalypse.
So I have to roll sharp.
Yeah, roll sharp, and you can ask me a question, and I'll just say I'll be super cryptic.
And that's a hit.
it's a solid
It's a solid eh. So what you get on a partial success with that? I haven't read that ability.
On a hit, you ask the MC one of the following questions, and he or she will answer. On a 10 plus, you can ask a follow-up question.
Ah,
So
okay.
I just get to ask you one question out of the list that I have right here. Oh, there's so many good questions.
I mean, that's kind of, you could sum up Apocalypse World as that. Apocalypse World, so many weird good questions.
Oh, there's some good questions on this list.
Was it sudden or gradual?
It was gradual, and then it was sudden.
Very cryptic. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Yes,
Thank you for giving me almost no information at all.
it's what
First,
I'm
we
here for.
slowly went to elect Trump, and then World War III happened, right?
Yeah, I'm so glad Trump got elected because now my apocalypse is right on track.
Yeah.
No, it was. You remember a gradual build-up of tension and dread, and then a snapping point.
Nice. The best questions on this list are: could we have stopped it, and how long did we hold out hope?
Yeah.
So
And what
sad.
did we try that went wrong? I love that
Yeah.
one too.
Yeah.
Electing Trump, like that's the answer.
You realize that that the YouTube video now will get like 100,000 dislikes
Yeah.
Perfect.
instantly.
No,
We're
perfect.
unpolitical. We don't. Yeah, we don't actually
No,
think
that's
Trump is
great
going
because
to
as soon as that
end the
starts
world.
happening, I just monetize the videos.
Yes.
And then you post them on like anonymously on like Republican forums to be like, oh, this dude,
Yeah.
he said something. Watch his
what a
video.
bastard.
just put it on like Reddit, like the Donald or something, right?
The
Like,
Donald, I don't know. Something like that. I try to avoid thinking about it as much as possible. Okay, so it's kind of interesting. We're all playing specialist ones. We're all playing extended playbooks. So we're all playing the weird non-basic playbooks. So that's cool.
We're like uber nerds. We play something for nerds, and then we play the
Yeah.
nerd version of the thing for nerds.
D&D
Right.
wasn't nerdy enough for us, so we found an even nerdier version of D&D, and then we
Yeah.
played the even
even
nerdier,
nerdier
parts of
version.
Then we followed that nerdy version long enough that a second edition came out.
Yeah, it's like the inception of geekdom. It's
Yeah.
great.
Gotta go deeper, man.
Gotta go deeper.
Gotta
Gotta
play
make it.
handmade we gotta make our own playbooks.
We gotta make a hack.
and play those.
Okay, so yeah, we got our water bearer, our child thing, and our quarantine, which is cool. So I've got a couple of questions, I guess, for the quarantine to start with, because you're the only one we've not seen yet. The first thing is, I'm really curious about your stasis facility, and what it's like.
It's large. Somewhat large. Has a lot of people in stasis. Has enough people in stasis. Well, the whole idea behind it was Project Phoenix, which was to preserve enough people, both civilian and military, to rebuild the world once more. However, there's a catch now. Hank and his wife Tammy were supposed to be the first ones out. And Hank survived, but Tammy did not. She went into a catatonic state. And he can't release the rest of the people because he does not know if it'll happen again. So now he's sort of in limbo between taking care of his wife, trying to figure out why the heck she broke and he didn't.
Oh, Green has a question.
Which options for the stasis did you pick? Because none of them really sound like there's like 1,000 other people in stasis.
I don't think he said 1,000. He said quite a few.
Quite a few, but they're all like either your friends, your colleagues, your family, or your superiors.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a number. It's quite vague on that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be 1,000 people, I feel, though.
Yeah.
But I chose my superiors are in the stasis. I merged from stasis a few days ago. It has deadly defenses, and the status of Tammy is obviously shattered sanity.
Yeah, which makes it the same. So how many people did you say you had in stasis?
Well, the map that I have has about 2,000 frozen people in it.
We could just say that most of them are dead.
That could work.
That's the easy solution. Like, all of them got attacked by the Psychic Maelstrom. Tammy went insane. Most of them died. Right?
And he doesn't know that yet. Yeah, that would work. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just thinking about it because I hadn't thought about it being in my head. The quarantine's always been 10 or 20 people in stasis.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to put my head around how it would change it to be a much larger number. If we were to say thousands of people in stasis, it's doable, but we'd need drawbacks. We'd need stuff to go in the opposite direction. So either it's thousands of people in stasis and you have no idea how to wake them up. Like, maybe you can wake up one or two people who are like in certain stages, but like the vast population is on a very complicated. Perhaps your wife Tammy, she was the scientist and she was the one who could wake people up. And
yeah, that would work.
You have no knowledge of how to do it yourself, so they're stuck. If you try and wake them up, like waking someone up from cryostasis would probably be extremely fatal if you did it wrong. We could possibly
they would end up like Tammy, yes.
Yes, so we could go down that route. Or we could say they're already all, it could be the Fallout 4. You wake up and they're all already dead. Too much time has passed. Or we could dial it back a bit, and you could say it was a smaller research team, but you'd have more access to waking up that team. Yeah, kind of depends. We can do the large numbers, but there needs to be a big drawback.
Yeah. I agree.
How about a smaller satellite facility that was supposed to wake up a bigger facility later on down the line?
That works, and what we could say is your bigger facility. Like, we've put you on the edge of I'll just bring it over to the map. We put you on the edge of a weird zone, which are very, very dangerous. We could say that while you're on the edge of the weird zone, the satellite facility is right in there. It's like it's balls deep in the weird zone. So it wouldn't even be very accessible to you, but you know they're there, possibly to help, but you can't get to them.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that would also make more sense as in why people haven't found a facility of 1,000 peoples. Because, yeah, that's a good hashtag, I know, Green.
Balls deep in the weird zone.
Yeah, okay, so I'm willing to allow there's just a big warehouse of people skulls, icicle people. But it's in the weird zone, it's very hard to reach, and you personally are not aware of how to open it. And part of the reason I'm being careful about, like, 1,000 people is just, we might be playing for a little while, and Apocalypse World is a game where you can affect the fiction quite a bit. So it's not beyond possibility that through careful play, you could actually, one day bring a savvy head and project and, actually help those people. Now, the dangerous thing about that is 2,000 people is a huge number in the apocalypse. Particularly, I mean, there's probably about that many people in the city nearby, but most of them are just crazed, flesh-eating bastards. But yeah, okay, so we will go with you're the satellite stasis facility to a much larger one.
Uh-huh.
You know it's in there. You can't get to it. Like, it's in a weird zone. It's deep enough in the weird zone that the anomalies become very dangerous. And what's more, your wife, who is now in a catatonic state, is the one who knew how to release people.
That would work, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
fine with that.
That's interesting. All right. Yeah, I'm fine with that. So your stasis facility, is it a bunker? Is it kind of above ground? Is it built into the side of
It's an underground bunker. Built into the side of the, valley.
Cool. And, outside, if we saw it, would be, a big blast steel door and concrete frame, and it's just stuck in the middle of into the side?
Yeah, exactly, like that.
Cool. And it's got, you said it's got deadly defenses. Are these, automated guns, or?
Yes. Automated guns that can be turned on and off at will.
Nice. I like to think that maybe part of the reason people thought this bit was such a dangerous weird zone is people kept disappearing because your guns were shooting them. Yeah.
That would work.
That makes sense to me. Cool. So you've got a bunker. It's in the side of this mountain. You said you woke up I was going to ask actually a question. Do you want to just start on you leaving your facility for the first time? Or do you want to have already been out for a little while? Which would you prefer?
No, let's start with leaving for the first time, because that would be an interesting perspective to play with.
Yeah, we could even maybe do the scene in... Has Tammy already had her episode, and you've waited a few days before you leave, or?
Yeah, after she's had her episode, I waited a few days, put her in the med lab, which is the one unlocked facility I do have available to me.
Yeah.
And now I feel comfortable leaving her alone.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, when your house is defended by assault rifles on sticks, it's, it makes you feel safer. So, cool. So that's where we know where we're starting off with the quarantine now. We know the quarantine's kind of was built as an arc instead of a research facility, which is pretty cool. And you're you were the satellite medical station that was supposed to wake them up.
Yes,
or
exactly.
Something. You're probably a bit confused on exactly what you're supposed to do. You've been in cryo sleep for a while. It does things to your brain. Cool. So
it's not the only thing that does things to his brain in this game.
No, yeah, a lot of things will mess with your brain.
There's an important role for the quarantine coming up when he first gets out of that facility.
Oh yes, we'll do that. We might as well do that when he actually leaves the facility for the first time.
Yeah.
But before that,
well, we might want to do it before Hex, because if he faces that role, it might influence how he answers one of Farah's HX questions.
That makes sense. Well, I only have to have one HX question. But,
yeah,
yeah.
But it might affect that. Do you want to roll to see how the psychic maelstrom affected you when you left?
Oh, I already did that.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, unless you want me to re-roll again.
Yeah, let's roll it on camera. Get more of the.
Yeah. For the sake of the people watching.
Yeah, all like 6 of them.
The suspense.
All like 6 of them, which includes like the people maybe not here, right?
Yeah.
So
For Adam.
For Adam, yeah. And Eric maybe if he has
Adam.
time, and for
Oh, okay.
Well, that was worse. That was worse than my actual roll. But thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Great. So what does that mean? I have no idea about this rule.
He gets +1 weird.
Okay.
The psychic maelstrom overcame him. He has +1 weird, and in addition, the MC must always highlight his weird.
I must always highlight his weird. Nice. I mean, I like highlighting people's weird anyway, so that works for me. So you get +1 weird, Hank Jackson. When you first came out, both you and your wife were struck by the psychic maelstrom. And again, this makes sense. You're on the cusp of a weird zone. It's a place.
And also, the psychic maelstrom isn't all of us, but we're okay with it because we were born with it.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so great. Another bit of weird in the world. Good. More weird is always better. So let's do hex and then highlighting, and then we can get started.
Yep.
So we'll start with our good water-bearing friend.
Water bearer.
Yes.
Water bearer.
You have a couple of questions. Just ask all of them since no one here has played together yet.
I will ask my questions once there we are. Which one of you once gave me water in the wilderness, real or metaphorical? I assume it's not Hank Jackson.
No.
This might make the leaving for the first time difficult because it will make it harder for him to answer questions.
I don't think we have hex with him then. If he just leaves for the first time.
Like reading the playbook, I don't think it's intended to start with him coming out of stasis.
Yeah.
I think it's intended to have him already be part of the world. We can totally do it, but I think like originally it's not intended that way.
Well,
I think narratively it's gonna be difficult because that's a great like story arc for a protagonist to be like, you wake up in a world that you don't know and you have to find out about it. But if he's like one of a few characters, I don't know if that's
let's ask Daniel, which would you prefer? Do you want to be waking up and meeting for the first time, or would you rather have been around for a few days?
I really do like the idea of waking up for the first time.
We can definitely play that. That's fine. I don't mind. Like we're only with 3 people anyway, so
that's fine. And then by the next game, like a week will have passed. You might have got history people. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Okay, so it won't have been. Yeah, so I guess it's just you have a couple of questions for Farah.
Yeah.
Farah, from what I've heard, doesn't seem like someone who has given me water in the wilderness.
I mean, I don't venture out into the wilderness very much.
I mean, I think both the wilderness and the water can be metaphorical, but still, I think.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And would you say that you serve the source, which is the water?
I would not say that I serve the source. No, I don't think.
Okay, in that case, +1 because I saw you coming.
You saw me coming?
Giggity.
Yep, that's what it says. For everyone else, write HX +1. You saw them coming.
Okay.
So you still get +1 with Hank as well. Cool.
Yep, for now and then.
Farah, you only have one question as well, I believe.
I mean, I could ask this one to Hank as well, but we might as well.
Yeah, this one goes to
because it will change what the initial interaction will be like.
Yes.
So but let's first do green. Like, are you a wolf of the maelstrom?
No.
That's what I thought. Hank, are you a wolf of the maelstrom?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
That kind of makes a lot of sense to me, but yeah.
All right.
But again, not everyone who's a wolf makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been like he turned into a wolf of the maelstrom. when
Yeah, we don't know.
he was but yeah, if he's not, he's not.
I'm pretty sure Farah is still trying to figure out what the wolves are.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they occasionally try to attack me, and that they're very scary.
Yeah.
But
what do they look like?
so what they look like is when I look one in the eye, they sort of change. Like they reveal their disguise to me, and they look like angels but without eyes, and their wings are basically dripping gore, like from like.
That's amazing.
Thanks for the catchphrase.
Yeah. And Hank Jackson, you have some questions. I don't know.
I think we would have to play this out, because one of my questions is, which one did I meet when I first
Which one do you meet
emerged?
first? Yeah, so whoever you meet for the first time here will be the one you get your plus hex with.
And for everyone else, it's -2.
Yeah. I disagree with me, but I think green is the more likely candidate.
Yeah.
It all depends when we start off here which direction he goes in.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah, do you go? Because green kind of operates in a radius like this. He operates in a radius around the grotto and goes out and
Oh yeah, it's more likely to be green, but
yeah,
I mean, play to find out what happens.
It's true. Yeah,
Sure.
okay, we can just play it out and then see what.
So, this used to be an old military base?
Yep, it used to be an old naval base. It used to be an old naval base. So it has several destroyed battleships actually half sunk in the harbor right now.
Battleships? Who uses battleships these days? Jesus.
Yeah, we
And
do.
how the hell
Every
did they get
country?
through here?
I mean,
Magic.
you say that, but that water there, remember, is... Okay, this one isn't to so much to scale, but it's about 2 kilometers wide.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
It's
more.
pretty sizable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of a depth issue probably than it is a width issue.
There's actually a naval base there in real life.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I know,
I'm sure it's
but I'm
fine.
just saying that at the Naval Brat, we don't use battleships anymore.
What do you call the ships nowadays? Because there's still lots of navy.
We use cruisers, destroyers,
Oh,
and
okay.
aircraft
Okay,
carriers.
to me, all of those are battleships.
Every ship
Because they're
that is trying
ships
to
and I-
for
battle.
battle.
Yeah, you get battleships. Yeah, exactly. They are ships for battle.
There's some galleons in the harbor. It's fine.
What a twist! They're Viking longships, and I've been describing them as
Viking
battleships the whole
longboats, yeah.
time. It's the Viking apocalypse. It was Ragnarok. Cool. So I think
Yes.
we're ready to get going. I do want to ask, since I have returning players, I do want to ask them some questions that I've been thinking about.
All right.
Green.
Love letters or what? Yeah.
Green.
Yep.
Back in your old days, who did you run
Yeah.
with, and who did you do terrible things with?
I was part of a raiding group led by Jaw Crusher.
Jaw Crusher.
Jaw Crusher the Terrible, they called him. And
That's
we were.
was he an orc?
It looks like one.
He had vaguely green skin and was very tall, so.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So used to run with Jaw Crusher the Terrible.
Yes, and you totally spell it Krusha.
Well, it's better than the main villain in the Mad Max game, Scroty. What was his name?
Scroty's already a bad start. Scroty McBoogerbutt.
Scrotus. His name was Scrotus.
That's right. Yeah, it's a good game though. But anyway, yes, it's Jaw Crusher.
Jaw Crusher the Terrible. And did you leave on good terms?
I don't know if I remember, but as a player, I'd say no.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Because I think I was one of his that's a guy we have I was higher ranking in his gang, but I wanted to leave, and he was like, "No, you won't leave." And I was like, "But I really want to leave," and he was like, "No," and yeah,
Yeah. It was a bad breakup.
yep.
And who do you go for in your grotto for comfort?
Comfort.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Green clearly takes a lot on himself. Or
I mean,
what
I
do-
could-
maybe what does Green do for comfort?
Yeah, I could just say one of my chosen friends, but that'd be boring because we want new NPCs. And
Blueberry White.
what do I do for comfort? I definitely go to the hot springs, and I have often long in the evening in the hot springs, long talks with Jasper, who is a vaguely female-looking person that she's fairly like calm-minded person, and it's good to talk with her. Yeah.
See, for some reason, I thought what you were doing was you were going off to the sacred healing hot springs and having a wank, which just would not be cool. Would not be okay. So I'm glad you didn't go that route. That's just where I would have gone.
This is where the secret healing magic comes from, right?
I think there needs to be a new rule.
It's
No
it's
wanking in the healing water. No.
it heals with stem cells. So Farah,
Yeah.
who shows you kindness in the town? Most people ignore you. Who actually treats you with kindness?
Right. Except for Rose, because that's the obvious answer.
Yeah, Rose is the obvious one.
Or Ember's now, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, right. This might be fun. I figure it would probably be Father, but it's kind of creepy at the same time.
Oh yeah, it's the religious guy being really nice to a child-looking person.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's not good. Father. Okay. So
Because why not do that? You know?
I'd rather it was maybe an NPC or something because
Oh, you wanted me to introduce like new Oh, right, because Balin's not here.
yeah, Balin's not here. Balin could have just been like, "No, I hate that creepy weird kid." Like, I don't want to speak for his character.
No, that's fair. You know what? Is there like a No, that doesn't make sense here. Bum, 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 bum.
Okay, while you're thinking, for the name of my named NPC, cut Jasper because I'll only think of Jasper from Steven Universe. Let's call her Cinnamon,
Cinnamon.
and she always smells nice. Like she came here smelling nice, even though she's in the apocalypse,
Cool.
and no one knows why.
She literally rubs Cinnamon. Could I make a suggestion for who's nice to Farah?
Yeah, sure.
I was thinking maybe Balls is nice to Farah. Like you were.
Who's Balls?
Balls is this asshole corrupt guard to everyone else. And for some reason, he's not a shit to you.
That's interesting. Sure, I like it. Works for me. But is Balls a wolf or not? That's always interesting as well.
You've looked Balls in the eyes. Balls is not a wolf.
Okay.
And you deliver messages for people. How do people get those messages to you? Like,
Depends. Usually, these messages are.
do you just like flush it down your toilet and it gets to Farah?
I don't know. It actually more. I figure it would more like be the thing where because I can basically get everywhere, right?
Yeah, you can be anywhere. I'm just wondering how people get the messages to you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's one of these things where you have to. It's not a fixed process. It's more of a when you want a message delivered, you have to give something in return, right? Let's say a secret for a secret. And so you have to sort of have like a personal effect that you just leave out. Let's say in a conspicuous place, and then you'll just have to trust that I'll notice.
Okay.
And then I'll pop in,
You're like
and then there is...
you're like a weird tooth fairy.
Yes. Yes. That makes a lot of sense to me.
So they basically have to leave something on their mantelpiece that they want delivered. I'm guessing with a note saying where, and with it leaves something of personal significance.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Cool. Okay. Okay, with that, I think we're ready to get started. I just want to start asking people questions when they're kind of returning characters build up around them. So, upkeep.
Oh, one thing before we start.
Sure.
I just remembered I will have to leave in a couple hours to pick up my dog from the vet. It'll be about 10 minutes, that's all. So.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, you're saying a couple of hours, like, it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just let us know when, and we'll take a break for a while. We'll take a break eventually, anyway. Cool. So, let's start then. I kind of want to start with the quarantine.
We have to do highlighting first, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Somebody always has to do that. We have to do highlighting. Green, who do you have the highest hex with?
From the people here, both won.
Both
I
one.
choose Farah.
Farah.
Okay.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What do you want Green to be? And remember, we're doing it that you get experience for what the attribute would be, not what you click. So if you're opening your mind to the Psychic Maelstrom, but you use Sharp, you're still highlighting Weird.
Sorry? If you... but you roll Sharp, then you're still highlighting Weird. Okay,
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
And the reason
Yeah,
I'm doing
makes sense
that
to me.
is because I want people to be able to influence how people act, not just what gets them XP.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Green's stats are.
Uh,
I'm good
Green's-
at cool, hard, and sharp, and I'm bad at weird.
Okay, I want you to be Sharp.
Okay. Interrogating fiction. Yeah,
Cool.
always good.
So I want you, Green, to be sharp and cool.
Yeah. It's what I am. It's my
Yeah.
MO.
Yeah, I'm gonna be nice to you this time. Farah, who you got the highest, the Hexama Boggles with?
They're both -1, so... let's... yeah, because none of they
Yeah,
are
no,
not
that's-
wolves,
yep,
so
that's
I have
fair.
-1.
So pick one.
So let's just do let's have Hank choose.
Okay, what are you good at then?
Well, I'm really good at Weird. I'm okay at Sharp and Cool.
Let's highlight cool.
All right.
Cool. And I'm going to do weird for you because that's just how it should always be.
Yeah.
So weird
I
and
don't
cool.
disagree. Weird and Cool.
Hank, you're the same with both of them right now. Green's not gotten to pick anyone, so Green, please.
Go ahead, Green.
I want Hank. I think I want Hank to be. What's higher, your hot or your sharp?
Sharp.
Then I want you to be sharp.
Sharp and weird.
Okay.
Because you gotta be weird. Because your brain is filled with maelstrom. Awesome. So now we can start. We actually remember to do highlighting. Always good. That's the first big test of Apocalypse World. If you remember highlighting or not.
If you
So-
fail, you die.
To begin with, we're going to open up with Hank. You're kind of you're inside. It's close quarters around you. There's kind of that cramped cold feeling that comes from being a little underground. If you know what I mean, that weight on you, that coldness that comes from just the coldness of the earth, especially right now. You're not exactly sure what the date is. Your machinery that was supposed to tell you that is in bad condition, but you're pretty sure it's winter by how fucking cold it is outside. And you're next to your wife. You're next to Tammy. What does Tammy look like?
Long black hair, green eyes, pretty slender.
Black hair, green eyes, and slender. Well, we don't know what her eyes look like right now because they're shut, I'm guessing. Or are they open, like staring?
Just staring.
Just staring? Oof. Yeah, she's been in a catatonic state for the last few days, since she... Are you trying to be the staring wife right now, Farah? Please don't. That was really disturbing.
That's what she looks like, by the way. What I posted in chat.
Is this okay to show on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Tammy.
I don't know.
Apparently that's Tammy.
It's Tammy from Undertale.
Sorry, man. We don't play as many nerd games as you.
Whoa,
Yeah, Tammy.
whoa, everybody has to play Undertale. It's the best game ever made.
Okay, so Tammy is staring straight ahead, like just staring at the ceiling. And you remember that the first time you staggered out with her, you both had a sudden wave of like confusion and nausea and hearing voices. It struck you both really hard. When you regained your senses, Tammy was lying unconscious, like staring up. So you took her into the medical state, and you've not been able to do much for her beyond making her comfortable. Although she seems stable, and the machines are feeding her, but you can't get a response from her, and enough time has passed that you're starting to think it might be time to get the lay of the land around you. What does Hank Jackson look like when we pan up from the staring eyes of his wife and we go into focus on Hank? What does Hank look like?
Very distraught. Obviously, he's got a lot of worries on his mind. Whether or not the mission is completable. He's got a very haggard look on his face. Yeah, there we go. That's what Jackson looks like.
Yeah, that's a good... So, kind of traditional-looking army man. Like, they're very square-jawed, sort of dark-eyed.
Manly
Yeah.
man. Man's man.
Yeah, so that's Hank Jackson. Yeah, so that we see you there with your wife. What does Hank do like before he leaves?
He'll check the equipment over. Try to get some date and time from the computer, just so that he knows roughly what time zone he's in.
Yeah, we see you kind of clicking away at the computer, trying to make sense of it. It's flicking confusing information in front of you, at times showing normal dates and then flicking to dates that don't make a lot of sense.
It was like an old computer that still uses 32-bit integers, and so it has like overflowed since then, and it's somewhere random basically now.
I don't know what that means, techie. I don't know what that means, techie.
No? Like somewhere in like the 2030s, somewhere, all of these like 32-bit clocks,
Mm-hmm.
they will start to wrap around back to 1970.
Yep.
So, yeah, I was more thinking it's kind of flicking like it's showing. God damn you, nerd! It was showing like strange dates like 1066, 18, like lots of confusing different dates, different numbers popping up. You're not really getting much sense out of it at the moment.
Any information from the sensors outside?
Yeah, the sensors outside, the actual your gun turrets are working okay. A lot of stuff inside's kind of fried, but your gun turret's working okay. It's cold. It's cold as balls out there. Snowing a little bit. Beyond that, it's hard to really tell. What sort of information are you looking for from it?
Basically, like what's the situation outside?
Would you like to read a situation?
Yes, I would.
Is it a charged situation though?
I think it's charged to Jackson.
I mean,
True.
you're making it charged by reading the situation.
Yeah.
Also,
And if he gets excellent. Yeah, it's definitely charged.
Excellent.
You are getting a reading. There's some as well as like being cold outside. You're getting sort of a low heat signature, not too far outside the grounds. Yeah, there's a kind of a low. You got comes with the infrared like vroom, Terminator screen, and you can see a low heat signature just outside of the gun's engagement range.
Interesting. Okay. Jackson will head to the ready room and start getting suited up. He'll look at his map and see the old naval base, and that'll be his first stop. See what's left.
Okay.
Considering what the conditions are outside, anyways. Once he cracks the seal.
Yeah. So we see the big doors open from outside, and wind kind of buffers in against you. It's a very cold, biting sort of wind, but it's not like freezing. It's not like he's going out into the Antarctic or the Himalayas or something. But it is a very biting, cold wind that hits you, and a wet, sleety kind of rain that will soak you through in no time and leave you cold. You're greeted by that sight as you push your way out, and all around in the valley, like either side of you, there's these two large hills, quite steeply going up. But around you, there's just forest as far as you can see, thick woodland stretching out around you. Except for, I suppose, around the base itself, there's kind of a cleared out section, which hasn't been totally overgrown yet, and it's on the edge of this forest where the guns were reporting a heat signature.
All right, I'll start heading out towards the base. Obviously, closing and locking the door behind me.
Yeah. Do you check this heat signature on your way?
Yeah, I'll stop by and investigate it and see what's going on with it.
Great.
So I actually have a question for you. Is Hank expecting this? Like, were you like? Do you still remember that you were put into cryostasis with the express thought of, yeah, it's going to be the apocalypse, or are you just expecting things to be normal?
I don't. I think from the way it kind of describes it, it sounds like you're not really sure what's going on when you wake up as the quarantine. Like, you're suffering from pretty extreme confusion.
Yeah.
And memory deprivation. But that's up to Hank.
I know something's going on, but like they put me into stasis for safeguard reasons, so I don't really know what's going on. But I know that they put me in there for a reason.
You don't know the reason is total apocalypse. Or whatever it is. You just know you were put there, and the first call is once you wake up is to go check the base.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. That would be, go check base, get future orders. Cool. So yeah, you approach where this heat signature was, and you move towards it. It's hard to kind of see because the sun's rising, kind of rising, casting shadows on it until you get quite close to it. There's a man. He's been stripped naked and tied to the first kind of tree before you get to the base, and he's carved into his chest. It just says the word "Beware the Devil's Gate."
Is he alive?
Barely. Like he's in that kind of state of borderline unconsciousness.
Huh. I'm gonna read another sitch because
Yeah, get 2 1s again. I can. Cool. All right, so you get to ask a question.
okay, give me a second. Let me look up the questions. Let's see here. On a hit, you can ask. Can I only ask one question?
Yeah, on a hit, it's ask 1. If it's a 10 plus, it's free.
What should I be on the lookout for?
Whoever.
The Devil's Gate, obviously.
No, not the Devil's Gate. Whoever did this left this man as a message, and not long ago, so they are likely in the nearby area, and they are willing to carve things into people's chests. So you should probably be on the lookout for them, because they'll be quite close by, or at least around.
So I'll walk up to the man and snap my fingers and see if he responds.
He doesn't respond. He's in. I mean, you're a soldier. Has Hank seen combat before? Is he a combat veteran?
Yeah.
Or is,
He's a combat.
You recognize this man. You know he's not got long to live. You think with even with medical treatment he'd probably he'd almost certainly die. He's only probably got an hour or so in these conditions without it.
So I'll pull out my 9mm and just shoot him in the head.
Cool.
Put him at his mercy.
Do you say is it something? Do you hesitate? Do you say anything, or is it very clinical and quick?
Just clinical and quick. The more you think about it, the more it haunts you later.
So Hank rips the Band-Aid off as fast as he can. He brings out the gun. That's a quick bang, and then he holsters it and moves on.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think if this was a HBO show or something, we'd see you draw the gun, and then it'd cut away before he fires, and we just hear the shot in the darkness.
No, we see his face, looking down, no expression, and then hear the shot.
Yeah. Green. You. It's the day after.
Just cut a thing in a man's chest. No.
Yeah, you've just carved something into a man's chest. No. Green, you're in the grotto. Well, no, you're not in the grotto. Sorry, you're in the clearing near the grotto, where surrounded by dead bodies. This is the day after your last session. In the background, we can see Father doing some rites, and I think Doomwolf isn't there, but we can see Father doing some rites, and some of your people setting about what will be quite a big task of burying 30-something people.
Yeah.
What's Green's face like?
I think it's a grim expression. Even in the apocalypse, this much death definitely isn't an everyday thing. Especially not since he's become green. So yeah, I think he's just. I think I'm just sitting on a. I'm just sitting on a tree trunk or something, probably smoking a cigarette. Kind of looking on to my people digging ditches. I probably have I'm helping, so I have one arm leaned on a shovel. I'm just taking a quick break.
Cool.
And I'll get right back to it once I'm done smoking.
Yeah. As you're working, you hear the cracking of twigs behind you.
Yeah, I turn around, not too alarmed, but a little alarmed.
So there's a small group of men. You recognize them as some of the same group who were slaughtered. Several of them have wounds of varying degrees: gunshot wounds, knife wounds. The head guy drops effectively a man, he falls to his he was helping this man walk and he can't help anymore, and the guy falls to the ground next to him, and he looks at you and goes, and he's breathing kind of heavily. You can see he's probably the least hurt of them. He's like, help us.
Yeah, I think I like.
Oh, you're a robot.
I stand up and become a robot.
No, not the robots.
Yeah, this happens every now and then, Hank. Tim just likes to turn into a robot.
I stand up and I kind of like go over at them and I say, you were with them, right? And I like nod over to the dead guys.
He nods.
Yeah, and I kind of like take a drag from the cigarette and I say, I'm sorry it went the way it went the way it went. Should have been some other way.
I don't know about any of that. I just know that my friends are hurt, and we're too far away from anywhere to get help from anyone else. Brink, it's like 4 days walk, man. None of us will make it.
Yeah, I nod again and I say, we can help you. Well,
Okay, and I think there we cut, and it's back in the grotto.
Yeah.
And like Green's wearing slightly different clothes, and
when I let them in, I definitely wanna
you want to
roll
do
my
your...
all are welcome.
Yep, sure. You can roll your all is welcome. But we cut ahead to some time has passed, some unknown amount of time,
Yeah.
and they're in the grotto. Their group kind of, and the grotto being it's like a big cave network, isn't it? Oh yeah, you welcome everyone. You're so welcoming.
Well, no. It's not about how welcoming I am. It's about I can ask 3 questions. So first, are they hiding any weapons?
They're not hiding them. They're showing them quite obviously.
I would ask them to leave their weapons at the entrance before coming in because we've just had a fight yesterday and we can't trust them.
Okay, they comply.
They can have them back once.
They comply. They're too wounded not to. And I guess with that roll, you are confident they don't have any hidden weapons once they get inside.
Are they keeping any malicious secrets? Towards the grotto. I don't care.
Towards the grotto?
base.
No, they didn't even. You get the feeling they didn't even know the grotto was here until just now.
Cool. And then I guess, are they hiding any valuables? Because if they just want to come here, get healed, and leave again, they're gonna have to give something back.
Are they hiding any valuables? Yes. One of them, you notice, is hiding. He's definitely hiding something valuable. Most of them don't appear to have anything worth much barter on them, but you get the distinct impression. One of them, at least, he's keeping himself. Is this like they tell you honestly, or is this like you have a feeling?
I think I notice, right? Like it's not. I ask them and they tell me. It's
Cool.
I notice.
One of them is definitely hiding something small but valuable, not just to them, but monetary wise. You get the feeling they're deliberately keeping themselves back to try and avoid you spotting them.
So yeah, I think when I tell them about the laws of the grotto and how they have to keep them, or bad things happen to them, and I also tell them like if any of them want to stay, they're welcome to, as long as they help out and work here and stuff. They can stay as long as they want to. However, if they want to just get healed and get some food and leave, we will require payment because we have to live somehow as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I think
either way they get food so they don't starve. But if they want to get healed and get something for on the way, they'll have to pay up.
Cool. So I think, like I said, we cut to a little time later, and we can see them. I think Green's probably watching from one of the bridges you described, goes from one spot to the other, and he's he can see this group of people. They've stuck pretty much together, not like in that antisocial way, but in that general nervous way. They mix with other people, but when it comes time to eat, they eat together. When it comes time to sleep, they find a spot together. But they're still here. They've been healed. They've not paid yet for anything. And while they're helping
Well,
out,
they've been healed as good as Nipperkin can do. I don't think they've been part of a ceremony just like that.
No.
Although I might ask them to be.
yeah, I mean, you do know there was one guy, the guy who got dropped. He was definitely on death's door. He was all kinds of hurt. Without the ceremony, there's no way he'll make it.
Yeah, and I think I'll have Nipperkin like get him stable, and then the next day I'll probably talk to them about that.
Okay. So how do you phrase it? Like, if you pay, we will do the ceremony, or I have a ceremony to do, which could heal your friends.
I think I go to them. I think I go to the one that I noticed was hiding something valuable.
Okay.
And
So
I say, yeah, and I say, do you know the man that was injured?
I know him. We all know each other. Comes when you travel together, doesn't it?
It does. There's a way that we could maybe help him. It's no guarantee, but... And I could kind of like shrug, like...
What? You mean he's pretty? He took one of those. He took one of them sniper rifle shots. He's all kinds of gutted. He's
I know.
not making it.
But the source, the water here, it's well, unique to say the least. But I noticed earlier, and I don't want to intrude on your privacy, but I noticed that you have some valuables on you. I'm going to be frank with you. If we help your friend and let you on your way with food for the travels, I would like to have something in return. We would. I kind of like look around at all of us.
This sounds to me like I've dealt with a fair amount of horse shit in my time, and it sounds like you're trying to sell me some. Like, I don't pay people for miracles and promises.
I'm not asking you to pay me for a miracle I haven't provided yet. I'm saying, well, be part of a ceremony. I know it sounds weird. We're not a cult. But be part of it, and well, if you don't think we deserve compensation afterwards, you can keep it. But if you do, we would appreciate anything you could give.
Okay. He gives you suspicious eye, but then sort of thinks. You can see that moment of like, well, I've got nothing else to try.
Yeah.
Like,
and
right.
I'm gonna talk to their like leader guy again, and I'm gonna definitely invite them to the ceremony.
Yeah.
Like
the leader guy's name. We should give him a name. He's Bar.
Bar.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, Bar. Bigger guy. Not so much leader as in he was made leader because he's the most charismatic. He probably was just the least hurt at the time and the most level-headed. So, big, quiet dude, but thinks straight. Bar is all for... He's happy that you do the ceremony. He seems they all seem very skeptical.
Yeah.
You get a very...
I think that's not the first time.
Yeah, you get a very... the people of Brink seem pretty practical in nature. They're probably come from a pretty practical town, but they haven't got anything else to try with this guy. So yeah, they're willing to let you to try and help. Cool.
So yeah, I mean, we've seen this last session, but Hank and Farah haven't. I don't know if you've watched it or if you've but I assume not. But yeah, it's this. There's this stone altar, basically, and in front of it is a perfect cube of very still water. And we put the guy on a stretcher, and we put him on ropes over this square piece of water.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all there's Nipperkin and Lissa my healer and my weird one go around just splashing people with the water of the source.
Did we not say?
And-
I don't know if this was canon or not, but did they not have super soakers filled with magic water effectively?
I don't know.
Or was it actually
we
just
can say
buckets?
that's canon, but
Maybe it was just buckets, not super soakers.
yeah. I don't know if they'd survive until the apocalypse.